Hello, welcome to the next LEC 2026 preview. We're covering SK Gaming, a team that swapped out 4 or 5 players going from 2025 to 2026. I have this team ranked 10th going into the season. Looking closer at the way the teams are ranked, it's a big gap between the bottom 4, which are Navi, who we've already done in 9th, and SK in 10th. I had to swap them after doing the Navi video. I looked at the stats closer and had to adjust what I had in for Wonder. The bottom 4 teams, though, those two, and then, of course, Los Ratones and Carmine Corp Blue, are very much behind the top 8. Like, there is a chasm between the top 8 and the bottom 4. So, in the solo lanes, I have them ranked 12th, Wonder and Leader. That is last. Based on stats, mid-jungle duo 10th, bot lane duo 7th. We'll start with how the team's done the last 3 years. Last year, the team finished 9th in each split. The 2 years prior, though, 5th and 6th, so they were middle of the road. It just last year went up in smoke. The average age of this roster is 25.4 years old. It's very much giving Team Heretics vibes when they tried to bring back G2 in a weird way that did not work at all. And I feel like this, many people did say this was Mickey and his friends. We'll see how it goes. So in top lane, you have Wonder at 27 years old. I have him ranked 11th in the role based on stats because I used 2024 LEC stats and then nerfed them as if they were ERL stats this year. Is that fair? Probably not. But I don't think it's right to have a player that played only 4 games. Essentially, as I would say, I guess even mercenary probably isn't the right word to play 4 games this past season. So he would have been 12th if I just didn't include anything. He's 11th based on this. Is he the 11th best top laner in the LEC? No. Is he enough to bring the team from bottom 4 to top 8? Probably not by himself. 2.6 KDA, 58 KP, 7.9 CS per minute in 2024. Different time then, 1.25 ROI, but a 1.8 share differential, which is it's very much Wonder. Wonder is a very good weak side top laner in my opinion. He's a do-it-all kind of guy as well. He could carry if he had to, but I think on this team and as it's formed, theoretically he could be able to do that job at a high level. Vision efficiency is rough. Down 150 gold, 58 XP, that's fine. LEC numbers. 1 solo kill every 6 games or so. A new champion every 3 to 4 games in 2024. Kaysante, Aatrox, Udyr, over half of his games played, but it was not fearless, so consider that. Skeen's stat line has him 8th if we include everything, which includes his ERL games. This stat line here is just what we saw in LEC in summer with SK. At 25 years old, he had a 2.9 KDA, 71 KP, 6.5 CS per minute. SK sucked. They were 9th out of 10 teams every split. And with Skeens, he had a 0.79 ROI, which is less than nearly half of the supports in the world. Less than, I gotta think, every jungler that played Tier 1 last year for at least 9 games like he did. With a negative 5.8 share differential. And I look at that and I say, well, I know it's hard to deal damage on Trundle and Pantheon. That's 5 of the 9 games he played, but that's rough. That's rough. That's terrible. That's terrible. So, that's a thing. But the share differentials actually work on this team. If he were to do that again, which I can't imagine SK would finish any better than 10th would be nice if that ended up being the case. But the share differentials would work because Jopa actually hard carried for his team in 2025. But either way, 521 vision efficiency, very good when you're getting invaded. Down 73 gold, 224 XP. Played a lot of stuff in 9 games. We played 6 different champions in 9 games in a fearless setting. And like I said, Trundle Pantheon, he played 5 of those 9 games. Leader in mid lane at 26 years old. I've seen thoughts that, hey, he's the only player that can play into caps. That's why he's on the team. He's had a couple opportunities in the LEC thus far. And, he's a unique player. A very unique player. He kind of, It is what it is. I have him last in the role. That's based on a stat line from ERLs last year. That was just, it is what it is. It was okay in some areas and struggling in others. And that is what he's only played like 15 games last year. Is he the worst mid laner going into LEC versus? Probably not. So if he and Wonder can play middle of the pack and for instance be, I don't know, top, let's say 8th in their roles, they end up in the conversation for being able to maybe get to the 8th place spot. And by that I mean 8th, between 6th and 8th is very close, so they could theoretically compete for upper half, or almost nearly get there. But that would mean that Wonder and Leader have to overperform. But Leader 3 KDA, 63 KP, 8.7 CS per minute, a little less involved, 3 out of every 5 kills nearly. But 1.75 ROI, very aggressive, found a way to deal damage, but he was on a good team. 2.9 share differential is indicative of that. That's a very high ROI for such a low share differential. So we'll see how he does as having to be more of an impact player in damage on this team. 272 vision efficiency, dominated in lane, up 380 gold, 525 XP. 2 solo kills every 5 games, very good. 4 new champions every 5 games. Played 15 games, like 9 different champions or some shit. That math does not add up. That math doesn't add up. Regardless, Yone, Silas, Aurora, 40% of his games played. Still, have him last. Jopa, I have him 10th. But statistically, this player has an opportunity at 22 years old, the only player that I would say is not plateaued at all or on the downside of his career. We'll see how he does alongside Mickey. I think this is a great opportunity. 4.3 KDA, 72 KP, so very involved in what his team did. High resource at 9.7 CS per minute, and dealt a lot of damage at 1.88 with a 6.2 share differential. So he showed he can hard carry in 1v9, and he probably has to do it on this team. 268 vision efficiency, early game relatively even. 1 solo kill every 5 games is very good for an 80 carry. 1 new champion every 5 games. Ranks 10th in the role, Corki Varus Unara, only 39% of his champion pool. And lastly, we have Mickey X. I have him ranked 2nd in the role going into the season at 27 years old. He's one of the best Western supports still. Even after his issues in 2025, I would still hold him in very high regard. 2.9 KDA, 75 kill participation, 0.91 damage divided by gold, so very aggressive. It's one of the higher numbers for a Western support. And it's even higher than Skeens. I understand Skeens had more gold, but Skeens has a very, very low ROI. Negative 4.7 share differential. Pretty big part of his team's success in 2025 in damage. All things considered. 2 vision efficiency, which is very good. Laning is whatever. Solo kills are whatever. 1 new champion every 4 to 5 games or so. Pretty good. Ral Rakan Nautilus, 43% of his champion usage. Coach is Owner. Owner was a head coach for 2025 with SK. Otherwise, he has no Tier 1 head coaching experience. Because they finished 9th every split, he had a rough road. Going 1-8 in best of 1s and 3-10 in best of 3s. With this team, I think he kind of has to just kind of go with the flow and let them coach themselves. Because really, this is a team to definitely hitch your wagon to. So, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.